Welcome into the PlayUp studio at Prudential Center. It's time for our 3-on-3 panel presented by PlayUp. 3 panelists, 3 topics. We bring in Chris Westcott, Matt Laughlin, and Chico Resch from the Devils Hockey Network. Well, gentlemen, it's been a really difficult season to gain a little bit of an evaluation on this team, considering how many injuries they've had, the whole COVID situation, everything that's happened. But we do know a few things are for certain, and one of them is Jack Hughes is a stud.
Chris, there's no doubt about that. It's hard sometimes to see the forest for the trees, but if you look beyond the close-up view, there's clearly reason for optimism. Chico, Jack Hughes has absolutely announced his arrival.
Well, absolutely, Matty and Chris. It happened just before the All-Star break. Something changed in his whole approach to how he's going to play in the NHL game, and he just took off, dancing with the puck. So we got our number one centerman. You got a championship team, you got to have the number one centerman. Devils have that. I think they got a number 2 centerman as well, but we'll get to some of the other aspects, Chris, that maybe aren't as obvious as what Jack Hughes is going to bring.
But before we do that, that number 2 center is Nico Hischier.
Yes.
Before Sunday's game against Detroit, Lindy Ruff continued his praise for what the captain has done, as his game has just elevated. Last year, the injuries, the broken jaw, or the puck in the face, battled some injuries this year. Man, since he's come back off that ankle injury, he has been unbelievable.
Absolutely, because you show me a team that wins the Stanley Cup and doesn't have a 1-2 punch at centerman, well, you can't. So you can't show it to me because you need it. As we all know, that's one of the staples of championship teams, and the Devils have that.
Absolutely, and Jesper Bratt, star winger as well. That's another certainty going into next season as well. Uncertainty now. Let's talk about one young player that we don't really know much about, but we do know as of late he's establishing himself as potentially a nice piece to the future. Jesper Boqvist, 4 goals in a 5-game stretch here, including the road trip and the first game back home. He's been pretty good lately.
Getting confidence because he's induced confidence in his head coach to put him out there more often. So with opportunity, he's taken advantage of it. And I think he has proven that he's got an NHL future, for sure. Some scoring. He's got to work on his faceoffs. We know that. But he has announced that next year, I'm going to compete for a job and have a legitimate chance to be in the lineup from beginning to end.
Oh, absolutely, Matty. We know that Hughes, Hischier, top 2 centermen. And I think McLeod can be that 4th line. Who's going to be in the 3rd position? That's the one that's up for grabs. I don't know that it's going to be, I don't think Pavel Zacha is going to be slotted in there. So Boqvist is the front runner, and as you just mentioned, he went on a nice little streak, especially on the road, which always, I think, magnifies it a little bit best. But because he's got a nice scoring touch, not great, but a nice scoring touch, you can learn defense. He could be that 3rd-line centerman that every team looks for.
And we've heard about the young guys coming, and so we've had a little taste of Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita Okhotyuk. We've had a little taste of Kevin Ball. They'll all be in the mix.
Oh, absolutely. Okhotyuk, he's going to be here next year. Kevin Ball has proven. Kevin Ball, you talk to people, he, like so many players, Chris and Maddie, he's playing better at the NHL level than he did at the American League level. Some players just do that, but I'm so impressed with the fact that he's got that reach with his stick, and he can play defense, but he'll throw some checks as well. So you got the big guy there, and then Okhotyuk, he's just going to bring energy. And I watched him. Even when he doesn't have the puck, he's looking around to see, okay, where do I go next? He's not tunnel vision. And you know what I really like, and you guys saw it, his first little steps really quick as a defenseman. If he's a little bit out of position, boom, 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 he can get right back where he needs to go. So they're in good shape there as well. And then beyond that, I mean, you're hoping for Holtz. I can't put him in there yet. Sharon Govich, like to see a little bit of an elevation. And perhaps, I don't know what you guys think, there could be a free agent signing. And I would think if they target someone, it's going to be a winger with some size and who can score some goals.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked now about some of the certainties and some of the uncertainties. One of the other uncertainties, because we haven't seen a lot of them, has been MacKenzie Blackwood. But fortunately for us, we will get to see him next week. Head coach Lindy Ruff confirmed that they're going to at least try and get him in Tuesday and Friday. That is the plan. So what are you guys expecting to see out of MacKenzie as he comes back?
And before we get to that, just to calm down any of our viewers, we haven't forgotten Dawson Mercer. We know what he can do as one of the young guys who's established himself. I'm very curious as to what MacKenzie Blackwood brings in the 2 starts we've been told he will get.
Okay, this is an honest program we have here. We've all seen MacKenzie Blackwood's physical attributes. They're out of the roof, as good as any goalie in the NHL. But everybody's saying mentally and in other areas, off the ice, whatever, maturing, can he bring it up to a new level? And Maddie and I were talking about this, Chris. Why did Lindy Ruff, before the game Sunday, tell us that MacKenzie Blackwood was going to play Tuesday and Friday? Because he never revealed who his goalies are. I think the Devils management and coaching staff are saying, we've got to get him out of a little bit of the mindset that he's in. And that's fair. I mean, he has got to raise the level of him saying, this is my team. I am claiming this team. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to be obsessed with being the best I can be and taking this team as far as I can. So I think they're also working a little bit behind the scenes to see what he's going to bring. And that's why, really, Tuesday and Friday, to me, are 2 maybe of the most important games of the season, certainly down the stretch here.
So this is the 3-on-3, Chris, as you know, but it's the new version of To Tell the Truth, to be honest.
Well, I appreciate that, gentlemen, and I think our fans appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you, fans, for watching another 3-on-3 panel presented by PlayUp.